Hey guys, this is Earth Waters with Howling at the Earth. I am the host of Howling at the Earth. Also, please check me out on howlingattheearth.com as well as on YouTube at Howling at the Earth. I am with...
What's up, man? It's your boy Moondog 3732 from the Moondog 3732 show on YouTube. Hey, man, watch the show, like the show, subscribe to the show, share and comment. Also, I have the Moondog 3732 show.com, the Moondog 3732 show.com. This is where I have my merchandise, my blogs, a lot of my videos, advertising situations, all centralized in one place. And I am currently the co-host of Howling at the Earth. I say currently, just an inside joke. With that being said, Miss Waters,
Yes.
what is our topic for this particular show? Like to have fun.
Too much. What fears are preventing you from starting a business?
Now, y'all know I usually always, when she asks me, I guess start talking right. But what you think? What fears do you think stop people from starting their own business?
My biggest fear was if I was going to have the support or the audience or the fear of the unknown, I guess, for me. I didn't know if it would be a success. I didn't know. So overcoming that fear to saying, F it, I'm going to do it anyway, you know, if they support me or not, because this was something that was really personal to me, especially starting a hate movement, because the hate movement, we know, you know, brings awareness to people that have these fears of self-doubt or not thinking that they're good enough to do anything. So with that, it was so important for me to start the hate movement, regardless if I had these things in place or even my own fears, because it was that important for me to bring awareness to fears and self-doubt. So I started the hate movement because of that reason, not just for me, but for anybody that's out there that is fearful or not believing in themselves enough to make something happen.
One of my biggest fears was time. Actually having a full-time job and then bringing things home sometimes to work on those things. And now I have to refresh my mind and things like that to actually work on my own projects. So now I'm looking like, I gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. So I was spending more time on what's actually paying the bills on my actual dream, which was the Moondog 3732 show on YouTube. Y'all know I told y'all I ain't go by my real name no more. So with this time, and also for anybody have a significant other, if you're working a full-time job and then after your full-time job you're coming home to work on your own project, sometimes that significant other may not understand what it takes to get a business off the ground, so they may feel neglected and things like that. So some people may put their own dreams on hold just to make sure that their significant other is not feeling neglected or feel like they're being taken for granted.
Yeah, that's true as well, because that was something I also thought about with me being so into starting the hate movement. You know, what time would I have for my children and, you know, work and all these other factors that I had already on my plate. I didn't want this to take me away from that. So that was a fear that I had as well, being just me. I was scared because I know I'm not a consistent person. Like, I can start something and then I'll leave it alone. Like, oh, okay, I'll go back to it. And by the time I go back to it, so much time has went by where now I go back to it. It's like I'm at the beginning now. So I found myself doing that because I mentioned, like, the hate movement started in September of 2019. Ooh. And it just really started happening this year, in 2021. So, and it was all based on fear. It was on fear, not believing that I could do it, not believing that I could sit in front of a camera or a microphone and actually speak, because that was the biggest thing with the hate movement, because I was fearful of communicating with people and now I'm communicating.
She can't stop talking. She can't stop communicating.
To many people. So that's my part of it.
Time's on my hands. Now, with that being said, another thing that I think people are fearful of is that knowledge. How do you actually do it? Because you can have ideas, but how do you make those ideas come together in jail to make sense? Like if I have a business selling food, we know what food is very subjective. Some people think that this person cooks. Some people think that the same person can't cook it all. So we're talking about that. So how are we bringing our knowledge or lack of knowledge to make sure that whatever we have in that particular case can be bought or purchased or used by multiple people? But at the same time, my thing was like, should we focus on everybody, or should we focus on just our core group and then let it expand from there? So in other words, I was like the knowledge of like dealing with everyone on a grander scale, or should I just focus on just a niche group? So my knowledge of actually getting the word out to a large group of people, which would be my ultimate goal, I was lacking in it. And I was like, I would come home and be like, man, only this amount of people saw the video. How do I make other people know about the video and things like that? So I lacked a great deal of knowledge as far as marketing and advertising. So that made me take a pause, and I had shut the show down for like a couple of weeks, and I had to take a break until I did some research and figured some more things out.
That's good. That knowledge is very beneficial when starting even the smallest business. Also, networking is the key. Just reaching out to people that could help you with that part of not having that knowledge.
Right.
Because it could be the person right next door to you that have some type of knowledge that you can benefit from with your business. But if we fear that part of not being able to communicate or reach out to people, or being reachable ourselves, then we miss it. Because in a business, you can't do anything alone. You have to have somebody, and I know some people know I got this, I can do it, this and that, but in reality, you're gonna have to bring somebody on board, or at least depend on someone to teach you certain things in order for that business to be successful. However, do not let fear prevent you from starting your business, because that small amount of fear can wipe out your whole dream, and you don't want that.
At the same time, another thing that may make people fearful is the level of support that they're going to have, because we know that a lot of times people don't support you until you become successful. It's a lot of people out there that will not help you become successful. So you got to get out there. That's why I was in California, to let more people know about my show. Same thing with Seattle. I'm out there wearing the Moondog 3752 shirts. People be looking at it. I pass out like a business card and things like that. So a lot of times we know that they're gonna call them haters. A lot of times they're not haters. Your thing that you are advertising may not be appealing to those people. So the thing about support, we know that certain people in our community, they would rather support another brand than the brands of their friends. I'm not gonna call out some of those people that I gave t-shirts to and they still haven't worn the poster. That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna call y'all today, like what the business is. Now, with that being said, so when we're talking about support, I also have to remember that the world is a really, really large place. The United States is a really, really large place. I understand making sure that your home base or whatever knows what the things are, but are we trying to get support from others? And are we actually getting out there on our own, making sure that other people, other segments know about our company and our business?
We're not. I don't think many people are doing that. I think they're dependent on so many people to share and like it, rather than doing the footwork to say, hey, here I am, with, in more than just social media platforms. You have to do some legwork. So that's why I respected, your decision on traveling to other states and other cities or whatever to get yourself out there, not depending and waiting on someone else to share it or whatever. No, I'm out here. And then with you support other businesses. So building those relationships and networking like that works, so
that's how one day you might see me in California on the beach. I'm up interviewing somebody. You might catch me in the mall one day. I'm out there interviewing somebody. You might catch me somewhere. I'm up there. I went to the mall. I'm out there interviewing people with their own little business with the shoe cleaner. I still got to use that. My shoes are filthy.
So you're working on vacation.
Working on vacation. And then at the same time, I fell off in another situation looking for some shoes. Ran up on the guy with the books and did an interview. So we have to get out there. I just can't sit around the house and I like relaxing. I just can't sit around the house and expect my business or my platform or whatever I got to grow if I'm not actually putting forth any nutrients to make sure that thing sprouts.
True.
So we're dealing with support. We're dealing with knowledge. We're dealing with the lack of networking. We're dealing with our ideas. Sometimes we're dealing with our own fears of that this isn't good enough. Well, why should I sell t-shirts when somebody else selling t-shirts? Go to Walmart or any one of these stores, look at the water aisle and see how many waters they're selling.
Exactly.
And all of them are being sold out. Same thing, you go to the aisle of cold medicine. Look how many cold medicines you have up there. It's not that we have the same ideas, it's that why is yours appealing to others? That's what I would think. With me, I throw my personality in there. Some people gravitate toward my personality. Some people like me. I don't know what Moondog will say next. He might be freestyling and I'll tell him what he gonna ask me if I'm on camera. So it's kind of like a win-lose situation. It's kind of like a 50-50. Like, what's up, Moondog? And they're like, he might say anything. But at the same time, we have to figure out a way to get over those fears of saying no. I think that COVID was an eye-opener, and it made a lot of people realize that that steady check that they were relying on can be taken away from you. Yeah. And it made a lot of people realize that, hey man, I have ideas that I put on the back burner, but now that COVID has hit, I need to dust those things off and make those things happen. So another fear, a recent fear with COVID is that steady paycheck of mine, it's not as steady as I thought it was going to be. It can be taken away from me just like that. So another fear, sometimes you can be fearful of success. Like, what if I make it? What am I going to leave anybody behind? What about my friends? What about my family? What about this? What about that? Are they going to see me the same way? Are they going to ask me for money? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people hold themselves back from being successful because they know that all of the wants, the needs, and the responsibilities of being that some people may be the only successful person in their particular situation or in their family. And we know that once you do that, a lot of things are going to gravitate towards you. And some people are like, I don't want that responsibility.
So with COVID, the steady paycheck or whatever, that wasn't really the case. It was just that I had so much time being in a home. It was just like, okay, what can I do? So I found myself getting bored and like, you know what? I can focus on this hate movement. And during that time, that's when I really started picking it up. So it was almost like a blessing for me to have that time for me to focus on this. So now COVID wasn't pretty, but it did give me time to really focus on what I wanted. So the fear came into play. Would those around me understand my focus and how much time I was putting into it? And I couldn't let outside factors influence where I wanted this to go. So it wasn't about who would support me, who wouldn't. If I got likes or whatever, it was just that personal for me to start it. So I didn't, during COVID, I just didn't care. I was ready to make it happen.
And also, I was thinking about this, that she was saying is, another fear may be that you may be seen as being selfish, as like a lot of people that you had time for earlier. Now that you're actually focusing on something other than them, you may be fearful that you're being seen as selfish and you're not that same person that they knew. But we know that people grow. Like Muhammad Ali said, I think it was Muhammad Ali, if you're thinking the same way at 55 and you did at 25, you just lost 30 years. But I'm paraphrasing. So when we're talking about focusing on things like that, some of the people in some of the situations, going out to clubs, going out to bars, something like that, people scheduling us to do on a Sunday and stuff like that, because they know that we ain't got nothing to do, or they feel that regardless of if I call this person, they're going to come through. But when we start focusing on the things that we want to do, sometimes we can be fearful that we're going to be seen as being selfish.
Right. All right, guys. So, go ahead.
Why haven't you started your own business yet?
That's what I was about to ask him.
See that? I read her mind. That's
no, he didn't. He lying. You lying. But no, honestly, guys, what fears do you have in starting your business? And do the fears outweigh your vision and dreams of starting your business? So please answer that.
It's not homework, but are you fearful of failure? Are you fearful of
homework?
Putting all that time in? Because we have people that say, "Well, I wasted my time with this." Nah. If you learn something from a situation, I think that you didn't really waste your time. Sometimes you may be fearful of failure, and that's why we didn't really start. But with that being said, I want to know why you haven't started your own business. Hey man, you can be anonymous. It's fine. You can send it to the moondog38733show.com or at Gmail.
Or howlingattheearth.com or earthwaters.hate@gmail.com.
Let us know. Hey man, get the word out about the show. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, nah, that's my show. Now with that being said, hey man, we'll see y'all later, man. Bye.
Don't forget, guys, to keep howling at the earth. We're out.
Bye.